Hi, this is gonna be a fun little unscripted video to prove that I still live and that I still like doing YouTube. Here's the thing. I don't live in an environment that is conducive to doing voiceover work. So I can't do a lot of voiceovers, which is what I want to do. So yeah, but I wanted to make this one little video what I could because not only does doing voiceovers in this home suck, but also I'm going to be starting school in August, so I'm going to have even less time to be doing YouTube or fun stuff like that. So I was inactive, prepare for me to be even worse. Now, here's something that's also boring. I do YouTube for fun, so I don't care about posting often or having like a certain niche, but I realize that I do kind of need a niche if I want my things to be seen even a little bit. So I guess I'll be doing Genshin Impact stuff primarily because I like Genshin Impact, but let it be known that I am an artist first and a Genshin Impact enjoyer slash content creator second. I don't want this to be my life. I may move on from this another time, so who knows. And in spirit of not committing to any form of media today, I will be actually talking about my own characters, but it's still related to Genshin Impact. Guess why? Because these are my Genshin Impact original characters. You can see them on screen real fast. This is a time lapse drawing. So I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be listen. I'm going to be commentating on this live, so I may be sounding real stupid. Uh, this is supposed to be minimal edits, minimal effort video. So yeah, don't worry. I will do script a better redesign one, just like my Noel video maybe one day, eventually, but not today. So here we go. We're just gonna let it play. I didn't edit the footage at all either, so you're going to see stupid stuff here, like for example at the start where I scribbled a bunch, and then a few other times where I may like scribble on like a bathrobe or a cloak over my characters. Don't worry, that's just me. Taking screenshots to send to my friends as work in progresses, but also I didn't want them to be naked. So, um, in the meantime, while this plays, these are going to be bodies for a little while without anything substantial to talk about. And then when there will be something substantial to talk about, the video will go on very fast and I won't have any time to talk about it. So, while I can, I'm just going to Genshin Impact. I'm going to judge Genshin Impact very quick. In my Noel video, I talked about it briefly. Genshin Impact is a product primarily, and it's made to sell, so a lot of creative liberties and stuff are blocked by, uh, you know, executives who want the character to be more appealing, or asset limitations like the limited body types of the playable characters. So, you know, Genshin Impact far from perfect, really far from perfect. But it still is a fun world to play around in as a creative. I'm an artist and I like to write stories. I wouldn't say I'm a writer though because I'm very not good with my words. Um, but yeah, it is a fun world to play around with. It gives you a lot of stuff to work with in terms of like narrative. And also if you are into like game design or whatever, you can think of that too. Like, thinking about the freaking math behind their moves or whatever. I don't have the brain for that. I don't even have their like I have like some of their stuff worked out, but I really not all of it. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a nerd. And I like being able to think of them as if they were in game, but only to a certain extent. I'm not going to design them like they are actually in the game because that would take some fun away from me. For example, limiting me to the body types. Now I technically did assign them models for or character models, but I didn't respect it because I didn't feel like it. So Carmelo and Diraj would have been like short males. Malachi would have been a tall male. He's very short though, and they have their individual body types because I like drawing bodies. Now we're getting to the colors. Another thing they have blood circulation and melanin. I'm not going to talk about the colorism or racism. It's there, and if you are going to deny it, I don't care, and I'm tired. But I'm a Southeast Asian person. I have tan skin, so I want to see more tan people in Genshin Impact, and I can do that by making my own characters who are technically part of Genshin Impact and making them brown. So there we have that. Um, Gay people art. Don't worry about it. What's not pictured here is that I didn't design these characters like on the fly. Like I have sketches of them. I did like ideation, or I did have like references for all of them. So right here, you're just seeing like the culmination of what I liked and a finalized version, mostly. But for some of it, I did like kind of wing it on the spot. Mostly Diraj and Malachi's color palettes. Uh, so now look at that. I'm starting to draw the clothes. I don't know why I started with Diraj. I think it's because I had just like designed his outfit, and so I was excited to draw them. Anyway, uh, you're gonna see that I also like beyond the conventions of the body types and whatnot. I also disrespect the conventions of the clothing patterns and stuff for the characters. For instance, Carmelo and Dita, just short males. They would have had um shorts mostly. I don't like. I think the one character who doesn't just have shorts that is a short male is Razor. Uh, but yeah, the rest tend to have like short pants, or Venti has tights. Bleh. But it's I don't feel like doing that. I wanted to give them both pants, so they both got pants. And you know, when you're unless like you can go about fan designs two ways. Either you can respect 100% the conventions presented within the IP, or you can just take what you like and then do what you want, which is what I did. Now, there were the limitations that I didn't want to do, like obviously, the body type limitations, the skin tone limitations. There's not a real limitation. That's stupid. But it is a limitation in Genshin Impact. Because clearly they're so hesitant to use different skin tones. I'm not going to talk about it anyway. There are those things that I didn't want to respect, but there were things that I did kind of want to emulate. For instance, Genshin Impact designs are so very detailed. It's a lot. There is like no well, I'm not gonna say that there's no rhyme or reason to the gribbling on their designs, because like every single detail is thought out to a certain extent, even if you think it's because it's just pretty, but you know, that's still a thought. So I wanted to do detailed designs, or try at least to have as much detail or emulate as much detail as I could. My characters' designs tend to be on the simpler side, so that was an interesting thing. And also the other thing that I liked about Genshin Impact was the color palettes of the clothes, actually, because their color palettes, for the most part, tend to be like really like diverse. That's a really ironic thing to say. Anyway, they tend to have a lot of range, is what I'm trying to say, and they get away with like things that I simply would never have thought of, like having like five colors on an outfit and 20 million gradients. That's simply not in my bones. And if I weren't looking at a bunch of references and seeing how they like to do that stuff, I simply never would have done it. So yeah, there is merit to like the design philosophy of Genshin Impact. It's just that, you know, you always got to be mindful of be mindful of the, yeah. When you're consuming media, be critical of what you're consuming. You know, it's nice. It's good to enjoy things, because, man, not enjoying things suck. But, you know, you don't have to enjoy things blindly. Anyway, you might be wondering for their outfit inspirations. I still have time. Carmelo is from Fontaine. Dita is just from Sumeru, and Malachi is from Sishinaya. Carmelo, luckily Fontaine is coming out soon. Well, luckily or unluckily, I don't know. The fact that I could have waited just a little bit longer to actually design Carmelo and see if I was accurate about the designs. Too bad. I mean, you could already kind of tell what the inspiration for Fontaine was going to be. So what I did was I just looked at like historical fashion magazine excerpts of French fashion. That's all I did. For Diraj, he was a bit more of a interesting case because Sumeru is rampant with like, I don't know, lots of it's just a lot. So, you know, there's good things, there's bad things in Sumeru. Like the fun thing is that a bunch of different people got like the representation for the very first time. The bad thing is that it's maybe not the best representation. But you know, yeah. So I'm not South Asian. None of my Southeast Asia doesn't exist in Teyvat, so I mean I didn't have any personal cultural ties to the any of the cultures that Sumeru represented or drew influence from. So but at the same time, I didn't want to think too hard. So luckily for me, Diraj isn't a very culturally significant character. If I had done something like, if I had done a character, for instance, like Nilu, who had a lot of cultural significance as like a representation of the arts through dance and stuff like that, I would have been more mindful. But Diraj, he's just like a Sumeru Academia character, nothing super insane going on over there. So I just looked up reference images for Southeast Asian outfits and drew from there. As for Malachi, he gave me the most trouble, but not for the reasons that you think. He's from Sishinaya. Sishinaya is the Genshin Impact Russia. I didn't really draw any influence from actual real life Russia because Russia is a really big, man, and Malachi's whole shtick is related to the Fatui, the in-game evil organization, and well, the Fatui already have a plethora of designs being the enemies. So I mostly looked at the Pyro agent and the Pyro freaking gun person, and that's who I took inspiration from for him. Now, I think I talked enough about Genshin Impact design philosophy, how I went about it. I don't really want to talk about their lore. I mean, I do want to talk about their lore. It's just that I don't think that anyone, well, it's not that interesting. And also, the footage is done, so I don't have a lot of free time to spare. So if you want to know more about them, you can look at their Toy House profiles that I will have linked somewhere, where I talk a little bit. I have a little bit of writing on their individual characteristics and also, what is it, their vision story, the story of how they got their visions. So if you're curious about that, you can go check that out. Now, I won't be designing any more Genshin Impact characters because that's not how I do. I get an idea and then I work on it, and if I don't have any more ideas, I don't. And I'm not going to force myself to have any more ideas. So these are going to be the only Genshin Impact characters I have. If I will do more content with them on this channel, I have no idea how I would do that besides just doing a speed paint or something. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's the end of that. Will I be back? God, I hope so. Whenever I have time. The next thing that I'll do, maybe a redesign for a character. I just have to figure out who. Here's the thing about the Genshin Impact character redesigns. Believe it or not, there is a lot of cultural influences that can go into a character. So be it like lore reasons or like whatever. Anyway, a lot of research can go into a Genshin Impact character, and I want to be able to put as much effort as I physically can into a redesign because it's really a pain in the butt to think, like, to undermine the effort that goes into designing a character for, like, an IP like Genshin Impact. I don't know what it's like there, but no matter what, even if I'm really unsatisfied with what they're actually dishing out, I don't know about the actual work that goes into it, like how much time the artists take into, you know, researching different cultures or backgrounds, drawing inspiration from stuff like that. Like especially with Sumeru, see, like, in spite of what actually came out of it, you can tell that there are elements of like really deep pulls. For instance, like Dignati, his name. I remember when he was being leaked or when he was announced that there was like, well, first of all, the whole controversy with the name pronunciation. I'm not going to talk about it. There was the fact that people were saying like, hey, Dignati is really not a common name and no one has ever seen this before. Like, where the frick did they get this? So yeah, you know, if you want like proof of the depths that they can pull from and that they do pull from, it's there. It's just that, you know, with the fact that this is a product to be sold, there's going to be executive CEOs who are not so appreciative of these creative endeavors, and they're going to be like, make it more sellable. Like, no, don't make him dark skinned, they're not going to sell us good, haha. Stupid things like that. So yeah, I can't speak for the actual design process or what it is to work on a HOYOverse and be a character designer over there, but it is never easy, and I don't want to pretend that it's simple. So I do want to, whenever I get to redesign a character, I want to give them justice, and I want to do all the research that I can, really bring out the lore, the culture behind every single character. But I am but one person, and I have a lot of things that I need to do. So, you know, anyway, in terms of things that I'm actually doing, my commissions are closed, sorry. But they're gonna be, the reason they're closed is because I'm gonna be participating in Art Fight this year. So if you are an artist and you want me to draw your character, I'm not gonna guarantee anything, but please add me on Art Fight. And if you do an attack on me, I will do my best to do an attack on you. I love to give back. Anyway, yeah. Otherwise, maybe I'll take an interest in one of your characters and take initiative. I won't make any promises. So, that was all from me. I hope this wasn't too annoying to watch. Thank you and goodbye.